is to have a craving for a certain substance that you are not having at that time. When you're not doing it, you have to have it. A few years back, I was given permission by my parents to drink a couple beers with my dad. I actually happened to be 13, and I got drunk after like 4 beers and started smoking a cigarette later that night because I didn't know. And freshman year of high school, I was to the point of drinking constantly, all day long, every day for almost an entire year. It got to the point where it's uncontrollable. I got away with a lot of things. I moved from alcohol to marijuana, then to prescription pills, to opiates, but it was just an experience in life that I got to go through. It was the 23rd of July in 2011. That was the last alcoholic drink I had because I planned that to be my last night. I had planned ahead of time to completely kill myself by the end of the night. I had my last hurrah, hung out with a bunch of friends, laughed a lot, joked, and everything. I mean, we even played a prank on my mom saying my dad was missing. I mean, it was fun, but then it boiled down to what was inside my head wasn't exactly a happy person. I then was waiting up at night because I had the pills already set up. I knew exactly how many to take. I knew what was going to happen, and my brother decided to kind of sleep on the couch. So I had to wake him up to get him to go to bed. And as many drunk, passed out people do, they don't like to move. I shook him awake, as any dumb 15-year-old would do. He stood up with enough force to pick me up with one hand and pin me against the wall. He held me there for about 30 seconds and then finally dropped me and stormed upstairs. I stood there for a little bit, a little shocked about what happened. Woke my parents up, told them what happened. They went to his room, yelled at him for a good hour, and then I stayed awake because I wasn't gonna quit now. I've come this far. About midnight, 12:30ish, everyone was asleep, finally. Went to my closet, got my hiding spot, which I had a hole in the wall back behind one of my shelves. Took 34 or 32 pills of Seroquel, which is a schizophrenic sleeping pill. It is to put you to sleep almost immediately. And I took all 32 of those with about 20 ounces of vodka. Walked out of my house with a lighter, half a pack of cigarettes, and a knife. I walked down to my local park, walked back in the woods where no one could see me, and was thinking every self-loathing thought I could possibly imagine. Telling me the world hated me, that I didn't deserve to be there. I was trying to convince myself to actually commit the act of killing myself. And I ended up stabbing myself twice in the leg. I stood there for a moment, let it bleed, and it filled up actually one of my shoes full of blood. And then I laid down on the ground and fell asleep. And I woke up about 3:30 a.m. because I still had my phone on me. And I remember some of the walk home was kind of staggering. I made it home and I somehow remembered to wrap my leg up with an ace bandage so I wouldn't bleed everywhere. Still did, but and then my next memory is my oldest brother, who I woke up earlier, who picked me up by the throat. He was waking me up to try to apologize, and I was unresponsive. I was speaking in mumbles and making words that didn't make sense. I was taken to the hospital. I remember bits and pieces of the ambulance. I spent a full 24 hours during detox. They pumped my stomach. They put enough fluids through my system to make me pee for 3 days straight, basically. And then it was Sunday. It was a Saturday when the street dance was. It was Sunday, about 5 o'clock, and they finally, confronted me. What were you trying to do? And I admitted it. That's when the doctors told everyone to leave the room. Besides, I had to sit in the bed, obviously. And he told me that I took enough pills to kill 3 people. And because of the 8-hour time limit in between when we got to you and when you took them, it is a miracle that you're still alive. And I was like, what do you mean? He said, literally, if you took 1/3 of those pills, you could still have died. I was then stayed in a stress center for a few days, getting my life back on track. I had no outside contact. It took away every addiction you could imagine. I could drink juice, milk, and eat bread. That's about all I could do for 3 days. There was no other addictions you could have. They took away your shoelaces. They took away my stretch pants and my sweatpants. They took away my hoodie because I had too many strings in it. They gave me my own little box to have my toothbrush, shampoo, and conditioner. I only got it at night once, and they supervised. It was strange. And then by the time I was out, I was not the same person anymore. I didn't talk. When my parents would come and say, are you ready to go home? I didn't talk. And then I had to come back to school soon after. I went home, cleaned up my room because it was the exact same way I left it. I had to throw away the blood-covered shoes. I then went through 6 months of therapy with group therapy, and then and to graduate from there, I had to go to 5 AA meetings, or NA, which is AA is Alcoholics Anonymous, and NA is Narcotics Anonymous. I have been going there for over 2 years. It has done nothing but change my life. And now I am a better human being. I'm more exciting. I smile, I talk, I laugh. I'm always peppy, and that gets on people's nerves, but I'm still the human being I was, but I now have the coping skills to conquer that. Serenity prayer is, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I have scars and a past that I cannot ignore. I cannot shut the door on it. I have to use it to learn